Welcome to part 3 of my SRB2 mod ranking. If you've watched part 1 and 2, then you'll know how this episode will be formatted, but if you haven't, we'll be summarising and ranking a number of the mods I played in each episode, before giving a final ranking in the final episode. Compared to the last episode, where we covered everything from dragons to hives, all but one of the mods summarised today are hedgehogs, and even that exception is kinda debatable. We'll only be covering 6 mods in today's episode, partly because I need to release this video quickly before I visit my family, who live about 50 miles away. So without further ado, let's get into the ranking. Starting off very strong today, with my second favourite mod in this entire ranking being the first one in this part. Neo Sonic essentially plays as a mixture of the modern Sonic from the Boost games and the modern Sonic from Sonic Advance 2. And I think they combined to create a character that fits surprisingly well for this momentum-based platformer. Featuring a drop dash, homing attack and a boost mode, Neo Sonic may be a little formulaic when it comes to their ability choices, but the flow and the styles of their moves are unrivaled by many other mods. Featuring a more custom version of boost mode, where it builds up slowly and eventually tops out, Neo can reach speed unmatched by most other mods, through careful use of the drop dash and the special homing attack functions. While evidently not built for the smaller corridors of some levels in the game, Neo Sonic has the moveset and sprites to create a character with incredible style and speed. An easy 10 out of 10. Talking about how there are few characters who can reach Neo Sonic's speed, here is one of those rare exceptions. Robo is an incredibly momentum-based moveset with incredible horizontal speed and vertical reach, making her well suited for almost any environment. With a stylish moveset that rewards skilled players with the ability to soar over massive gaps with ease, RGA, as we'll call her from now on, seems almost custom built for players like Particle Energy or Duck Insurance, two incredibly skilled speedrunners who exploit the game's momentum oddities to reach blazing speeds. What I will say is the sprites are mostly recoloured versions of Vanilla Amy, but considering she's supposed to be a parody of Pink Gold Peach, I think this is forgivable. With the ability to speed through levels with grace and style, Rose Gold Amy nets a 9 out of 10. Continuing with the tradition of having an SRB2 classic in every episode, Shadow the Hedgehog joins the like of Mamie and the Egg Pack as one of the most popular mods of the current version of Sonic Robo Blast 2. Comparatively though, Shadow is much more complex than these other two mentioned, featuring a homing attack and a signature chaos control. The 2 teleports you get per jump allow for significant vertical and horizontal movement in the same jump, and the homing attack can be used to position yourself if needs be. I will admit that I don't particularly like the fact that the homing attack can launch you in directions you can't see on your camera. For example, it can launch Shadow behind where the camera currently is, which is very disorienting. Despite this, the sprites are nice, animations flow very well, and I'm happy to give Shadow a 9 out of 10. Everyone's favourite Cinnamon Roll has a pretty good thing going on here. Featuring all his own abilities, Silva can do everything you'd expect a telekinetic to do, such as hovering, flight, and picking up enemies. The enemy pickups are fairly standard and isn't anything particularly interesting, essentially being a projectile attack, but the hover is incredibly useful for slight corrections during platforming, and the flight allows for some incredible speed. To stop all this from being too OP, he's given an energy bar, stopping him from being able to fly over entire levels. I know some people would find this more limiting than interesting, but I feel that it gives some strategy to the character rather than allowing you to simply kill everything in sight. I feel the sprite has a significantly too large head, and the flight can be a little sensitive when it comes to side movement, but I think this is a solid mod. 8 out of 10. The only non-hedgehog on this list, and even that's debatable considering this is an unfinished Sonic sprite from some guy's fan game. SK Bean is based off Sonic colours, so expect a stomp, double jump, homing attack, and boost meter. The moveset isn't anything special, being very similar to so many other mods, but the main appeal, beyond the fact it's literally just a bean, is the squash and stretch physics. I like them a lot, partially because I didn't realise they were possible on the Doom engine, but it is basically the only notable part of the mod. Obviously, the sprites aren't very interesting, and as already mentioned, the moveset isn't very unique, so I feel confident that this mod deserves a 5 out of 10. The final mod on this list, Sketchup, is based off the version of Sonic seen in the Sonic Mania trailers. Featuring a peel out and a drop dash, the moveset, while perhaps not very unique, is passable, which also applies to the sprites and animations. Honestly, there isn't much to say about this one. It doesn't do anything particularly unique, but I don't think there's anything bad enough to be noteworthy. Therefore, Sketchup will get a 6 out of 10. So that wraps up all of the summaries for today. When it comes to the ranking, it's fairly short, as we've only covered the 6 mods. So, in 6th place, we've got SK Bean. In 5th, we have Sketchog. In 4th, we have Silva the Hedgehog. Already, we've reached the top 3 for today. In 3rd place, after a lot of deliberation, we have Rose Gold Amy. I was initially tempted to create a tie between her and Sado, but the fact that her sprites are all recolours lost her the edge. In 2nd, we have Sado, for reasons already discussed. And finally, in 1st, we have Neosonic. I'm going to have an unscripted video between now and the final part about the Summer OLDC, as I only played 3 levels from it. The final ranking will be its own episode where we combine all of the mods into one final ranking. Until then, ciao.